All right, guys, welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. We are broadcasting to the world live from Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome back. Trump Towers Cybertruck bomber. Things are getting weird. What do you guys have to say about this? Welcome in, Hiawatha. Today is Saturday, January 4th. We made it to day 4. Yeah, Sean Ryan, we're going to show a lot of that today. What's up, Sassy? Finally going to be able to make it to a live. Good to see you. Yeah, I had to reschedule it. We were out running around. Bad actors. What's up, Ziggy? Good to see you. Weird is another word for it. Lynn, how are you? I wouldn't really call him a reality star, but we'll watch that video too. I know what you're referring to. Sassy says he earned 5 bronze stars, including one with Valor, device for courage under fire, a combat infantry badge, and an army commendation medal with Valor. His father knows his son didn't plan this. Yeah, this is very strange. Like, we might be going full tinfoil hat on this one. I mean, think about it. We have the Tesla, which has remote pilot, right? Doesn't need a driver, fully computerized, autopilot. There hasn't been much talk about the detonator. What's going on with the detonator? How did he detonate this? Was it some kind of a remote switch? Was it some kind of a timer? Do we know much about the detonator? Welcome in, Metal Mama Michelle. CJK, good to see you. She Warrior. What's going on with you, Mustang? Miss Thang? Susan, how are you? All is well over here. Hope all is well with you. You guys expecting a lot of snowfall, huh? Hey, Patty. Yeah, so far, Hiawatha, it really has. Hopefully, this is the this is it. Hopefully, we don't have to worry about anything else. It's getting weird. Okay. Well, stay warm, Miss Thing. Good to see you, Melissa. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. What's up, Typo? Yeah, weird is becoming the norm, Typo. Yeah, 2019 seems to be when the shit hit the fan. What's up, Gambies? '84. Yeah, there's something different about this. I can't put my finger on it. Because I keep getting mixed reports about whether or not this guy was some kind of a Trump supporter or, I just can't make sense of it. I feel like somebody might be making an example of him. Not sure, but we will be looking into the manifesto. We'll be looking into some conspiracy theories. I definitely want to talk about the detonator. How did this guy use a Desert Eagle, a 50 cal, very powerful handgun, to end his life and also detonate this crude bomb? Um, and according to people that know this guy, Matthew, he would have been able to put together something way more sophisticated that would have done a whole lot more damage if that was the goal. So maybe he wasn't responsible for putting this little cocktail together. What's up, Don Spain? It says, hi, Sleuth in chat. A lot of these incidences are happening. Did you hear the illegal Muslim who was driving unregistered semi with no license claimed he had bombs in the truck? No. Nope, I did not hear about that. What's going on outside of the grid? V. Marie, welcome in. Sleuth says it's getting weird as soon as I press send. I get that shit a lot. We're in tune. Good to see you, bad actors. Sweets, what's going on? How are you? Hope everything has been good on your side. Miranda Lee, welcome in. Anna Lissette. Figured there would be copycats after Luigi attacked the CEO. This guy in Vegas seems to have had ideas about changing politics or policies, in my opinion. I'm not sure what the hell's going on with this guy. I'm not even fully convinced like he's responsible. A lot of things just don't add up. What's up, Susan? What's up, South Carolina? Brad says this shit is all over the place and just makes no fucking sense at all. Like, is that the message? Anarchy? Darden Creek? Hunkered down in the Midwest. Shout out to my Midwesterners. Shop for milk, TP, candles today, all set for the snow apocalypse. Yeah, you guys be safe. Damn, 6 to 12 inches. You guys about to get hit by a blizzard. Don says also, I heard the Airbnb where the Tesla bomber stayed burned down 3 hours after the explosion in Vegas. What the fuck? Yeah, this is a very weird case. Like, I feel like he could have easily have been set in that driver's seat. Or did somebody come on scene? I don't know. This is really weird. I can't put my thumb on it. Yeah, I feel like we get a little bit traumatized. You know what I mean? Like, we all need to sit down with a therapist and talk about it. That's how I felt about 9/11. It was like mass trauma. There you go, V. I love sledding. Oh, geez. Yeah. But there's definitely something weird about this case here. We look at the Tesla and we think, well, maybe he's trying to send a message. This whole Elon Trump connection. As of recently, maybe they were blaming him for the election success. But maybe he simply picked it because it has autopilot or whoever is responsible for this. I mean, there's a lot of weird things. Yeah, a lot of football on today, that's for sure. Be careful, Don. Yep. Autopilot typo. The Cybertruck definitely has autopilot. Yeah, it really is. And if he's a Trump supporter, I mean, maybe somebody threw him in that driver's seat. Maybe he's part of the message. You know what I mean? Like, you Green Berets think you're so tough. And then maybe they thought they were actually building a sophisticated bomb. I just don't know how you detonate something like that after you've taken your own life. So I think that'll be the question of the day. What type of detonator was used? Did he just light a really long fuse? Was it put on a timer? Yeah, let's look at a quick little video of autopilot. What? And you don't even have to be in your vehicle. You can be grocery shopping. You can be grocery shopping and then pull up an app on your phone and you can unpark your vehicle and pull it up to the curb. Um, it's insane. I might even have that video here. Nope, I don't have that one. So you can literally pull up the app, tell your vehicle to pick you up outside of a store, grocery store. So why couldn't you place a dead body in the driver's seat? Put a remote. The guy in New Orleans, he had a remote. He had a remote detonator was found on his person. A lot of similarities. Sean Ryan has recent post as well about how the dude tried contacting him on Instagram also. Yeah, the gentleman that he had on the other day told him like, "Hey, he wanted to get in contact with you." And we're gonna watch that right now. We're gonna watch that section of the Sean Ryan episode where he reads the manifesto. There's another part where they kind of theorize where he might still be alive. This guest and Sean Ryan, and then also two of the documents that were found actually left in the burning vehicle And also this guy's burnt to a crisp, right? They can't even identify him. There's a lot of weird rumors going on about his DNA, something about not being able to match it to his son. So I don't know if they revealed either that he may not be the father of his son, or he may not be the guy who they're saying he is, or that's just a rumor.
To actually do something.
All right, so we'll catch up on the chat real quick, and then they're going to read this manifesto or this email. I'll read you guys the manifesto here in a minute. Yeah, typo. Exactly. So somebody could have drugged him. So he could have been like drugged in the vehicle. But my question is, where's the coroner's report? The video of the car exploding, there's no sound of a gunshot. There's no muzzle flash. There's no popping noise. There's no witnesses who said, yeah, I heard a gunshot. It makes you wonder. I mean, it is possible with the Tesla that he could have maybe already typed in where he wanted to park. Maybe he put in the coordinates of, here, take me right here to the valet section of the Trump Towers and just park me there. Sets the timer for, I don't know, 3 minutes, shoots himself. The Tesla on autopilot pulls up to the Trump Towers, parks there, and this whole time the timer's already kind of counting down on some kind of a time detonator. And maybe it really was just kind of like I don't know, what would you call it, like a martyr, like a sacrifice for attention. Little box car. I remember those. We had to build those in school too. We would erase them. Outside of the grid says the choice of vehicle is some kind of a statement. I agree. But I also don't want to assume. But I think it is. If I feel like it is. People choose specific vehicles for a reason. McVeigh chose the vehicle he needed. The person did too. Is it autopilot? Yeah. The Teslas definitely have autopilot on them. Some of the text messages that the bomber sent to his wife, he was kind of talking about the Cybertruck. He says like he feels like Batman or like he's in the video game Halo. Because I think the Cybertruck kind of looks like something similar to what's found in the game Halo. So he was kind of celebrating the fact that he was cruising around. And apparently he's been, being followed. So this could have a lot to do with mental health. He could be suffering from psychosis. It happens to it could happen to anybody, all types of people. He could have just completely lost his grip with reality, 100%. Not quite sure yet what the hell is going on with this. Yeah, said he was being followed. Maybe they shot him from a distance. I mean, 50 caliber, wow. He said in an email he was planning on Mexico after. Yeah, we're going to hear this email right now. I'm just catching up on the chat. So bear with me, guys. We're going to hear this email, and then we're going to read the actual documents he left, the actual manifesto that he left. Shout out to Las Vegas police. They're being very transparent. I don't know if that, that could be the goal, to control the narrative, or it could be kind of pissing off the FBI and the CIA right now. A lot of talk of drones, anti-gravity. Good to see you, Julia. Didn't realize anyone was in the truck. Clearly, I need to do my homework. Whoops. Yeah, this is one of those cases. The more you look into it, the deeper the rabbit hole goes. 100%. Said the gunshot triggered the explosion, but specifically how, it didn't say. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm sure he can figure out how to do it. A timer. Hiawath says, Sleuth, do you think maybe he just wanted Trump to look into the war crimes in Afghanistan 2019? Yeah, this could be like him martyring himself. He's like, I want to take my life. If I don't do anything about it right now, if I don't give my life, because I mean, think about it. If you're like this war hero, that's what you've been trying to do forever, right? You've been trying to give your life, sacrifice your life for the country. So yeah, I think you might be right. Because I mean, think about it. From what I've gathered, he could have built some kind of a bomb that would have blew up that entire building. But yet he did it the way he did it. I don't know. I feel like it's just one big message. Either it's a message or he's being used as part of the message. And this is some kind of false flag, something to do with what happened in New Orleans, something to do with Ukraine, the current administration, the transition. Welcome in Mary Ann Foster. Yeah, we're going to get into that right now. I'm sure you can, Julia. You're just passed out drunk. You're like, yeah, I wasn't driving. What's up, Anthony France? Welcome in. All right, guys, let's get into this. Let me zip down to the bottom. Sorry if I miss your comment, but I want to get into the meat and potatoes of today's live stream, and that is this email and the manifesto. What's up, Jay? Welcome in. Yeah, take care of yourself, Miss Thang. MF, welcome in. Deja Vu, that's a great movie. Olivia too, welcome in. J-Lo, what up? Yeah, and it is somewhat of an armored vehicle, right? It's kind of what it's marketed on. Got people shooting at it. Joe Rogan tried to shoot it with an arrow. I even think in some of the models they have bulletproof glass. I know that was something that they were trying to get done. What's up, Beckles? All right. Without further ado, let's go.
Yeah, I'm in a military group chat. Buddy Green Beret, Corey, he says, at Sam. Nope, nobody I've asked in the community knows him. You is at 8:46 a.m. yesterday. So I woke up and I said, OF, I'm shaking. This guy emailed me 2 days ago. I'm not playing. And then he said, damn. And then this was my response to him at 8:48. Like, just woke up.
Dude, I'm fucking shaking, bro. You don't understand. This guy emailed me and told me he was being watched by the FBI and Homeland Security, but they weren't going to do anything to him because he had a VBID. I'm not fucking playing, dude. I have the email. I am shaking, man. This is nuts.
And it goes from there. And I sat there for probably an hour talking to my wife. I'm shaking. I can't even think straight. Like normal day shot. And I didn't know what I want to do. Do I sit on this? Do I do nothing with it? I've got to tell somebody. I've got to tell the FBI at least, because this is huge. This is all over the news. And then I was like,
What's up, MF?
well, dude, this guy wanted to get in contact with Sean Ryan. So let me get this to Sean Ryan, see if I can get with him. And I had a buddy who knew your producer, and we went from there. But
wow. Do you want to read the email?
Yep. So this email came in on December 31st at 10:42 a.m. That is Tuesday. He said, in case I do not make it to my decision point or onto the Mexico border, I am sending this now. Please do not release this until 1 January and keep my identity private until then. First off, I am not under duress or hostile influence or control. My first car was a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. What we have been seeing with drones, he puts that in quotes. He says drones is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China and the East Coast, but throughout history, the US. Only we in China have this capability. Our OPSEN, that's Operation Center, our OPSEN location for this activity is in the box below. China has been launching them from the Atlantic from submarines for years, but this activity recently has picked up. As of now, it is just a show of force, and they are using it similar to how they used the balloon for SIGINT and ISR, which are also part of the integrated comms system. There are dozens of those balloons in the air at any given time. The so what is because of the speed and stealth of these unmanned aircraft. They are the most dangerous threat to national security that has ever existed. They basically have an unlimited payload capacity and can park it over the White House if they wanted. It's checkmate. U.S. government needs to give the history of this. We are employing it and weaponizing it. How China is employing them and what the way forward is. China is poised to attack anywhere in the East Coast. I've been followed for over a week now from likely Homeland or FBI, and they are looking to move on me and are unlikely going to let me cross into Mexico, but won't because they know I am armed and I have a massive VBID. Let me pause right there for a second. So he says a massive VBID. When I was talking to the FBI yesterday, they didn't know what a VBID was. I had to explain what that acronym meant, literally.
You fucking serious?
Dead serious. I said it twice, and he goes, you said that word VBID. Can you tell me what that is? For your audience, a VBID, for your audience who has not been in the GWOT for the last 20 years, a VBID is a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device. In layman's terms, a car bomb, what we saw at Trump Tower. So backing up, he says, I am armed and have a massive VBID. I've been trying to maintain a very visible profile and have kept my phone, and they are definitely digitally tracking me. Here's where he gets into the other stuff. And this is where we had to redact the names. Well, your producer redacted the names. I have knowledge of this program and also war crimes that were covered up during airstrikes in Nimruz province, Afghanistan in 2019 by the admin, DOD, DEA, and CIA. I conducted targeting for these strikes of over 125 buildings. 65 were struck because of civcas, that's civilian casualties, that killed hundreds of civilians in a single day. U.S. FORA continued strikes after spotting civilians on initial ISR. It was supposed to take 6 minutes and scramble all aircraft in CENTCOM. The UN basically called these war crimes, but the administration made them disappear. I was part of that cover-up with U.S. FORA, an agent redacted of the DEA. So I don't know if my abduction attempt is related to either. I worked with redacted IO staff on this as well as the response to Bala Murghab. Redacted commander at the time, redacted can validate this. You need to elevate this to the media so we avoid a world war because this is a mutually assured destruction situation. Then he says, for vetting, my LinkedIn is Matt Berg or Matthew Livelsberger, an active duty 18 Zulu out of 110, that's 1st Battalion 10th Special Forces Group. My profile is public. I have an active TSSCI with UAP, USAP access.
What is USAP? Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is. But I checked his credentials on LinkedIn. So that was the first thing I did. I went to his LinkedIn page. First thing I noticed was all of his bona fides were in place. He has all the UAS training from USASOC and everything else. And so I said, okay, at least the guy knows what he's talking about with drones. That was a very rough dig into the guy. But my issue was I couldn't validate or verify any of this information. And I told him that. And how I responded to him was in a subsequent email. I said, this is obviously a very big deal, but I don't have anything to verify this information with. Talking about gravitic propulsion systems without evidence just makes me another UFO talking head. Like, I'm not going to go on my social
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning and let's break this apart.
up. And I said, OF.
I'm
Makes the do not make email.
Wow.
This email came in on December 31st at 10:42 a.m. That is Tuesday. He said, in case I do not make it to my decision point or onto the Mexico border, I
Okay, what does he mean by to my decision point? Decision. That kind of seems like a self-harming word, right? Decision, my decision point. Am I reading that wrong, guys? Or on to the Mexico border. So if he's leaving a message and he's planning to detonate this weird bomb that he's constructed at a Trump tower, what is he trying to escape to Mexico? I don't know. There might be some signs of psychosis in here, right? In case I do not make it to my decision point or on to the Mexico border, I am sending this now. Please do not release this until and then January 1, it's obviously, he had this planned out. So I think the three questions we can ask: was this a message and not terrorism? Was this just simply an act of terrorism and maybe his calculations were off as far as the vehicle that he picked, the type of explosives that were selected? Or is he being set up? Was he used as a patsy, false flag? Maybe he's still alive, some kind of strange conspiracy.
am sending this now. Please do not release this until 1 January and keep my identity private until then. First off, I am not under duress or hostile influence or control. My first car was a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. What we have been seeing with drones, he puts that in quotes, he says drones, is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China and the East Coast, but throughout history, the US.
Okay, what do you guys make of that? I mean, is he just straight up talking about UFOs? Or is this more psychotic talk?
Strong access way. I had to hang upside down in there to see the lower.
So when I hear this, it kind of reminds me of this old interview with Bob Lazar, somebody who claims to have worked at Groom Lake, Area 51, and witnessed UFOs himself. He talks about anti-gravity here briefly.
Way. I had to hang upside down in there to see the lower level, essentially. And there were 3 large gravity amplifiers. These devices looked like about a 2-foot diameter, 4-foot long piece of pipe hanging by a smaller piece of pipe from the level.
So basically he's saying that these amplifiers, they distort the gravity around the craft. It kind of creates its own gravity. So that's what that stuff reminds me of.
Only we in China have this capability. Our OpCen, that's Operations Center.
I think he's talking about only China. So I don't know, guys. Maybe this guy lost his grip with reality. Let's go to the chat real quick. See what you guys are talking about here. Maybe Vegas guy took a long, meandering course from Colorado to Vegas because he is environmentally conscious. He proved you can drive hundreds of miles in an electric car. MF Witchy Widow, great book by William Cooper. Great book. I've read it a few times, actually. They talk a lot about UFOs and things like that coming out of the ocean. What's up, Fight for Justice? Welcome in. Outside of the Grid says, and of course, we also have the mental health angle. That's where I'm leaning on now. When I see this email here and this talk of like anti-gravity, this is something this is what psychosis would look coming from a highly trained military person. You know what I mean? Psychosis is going to go through that filter of whoever it's kind of infiltrated, whatever mind it's infiltrated. It's going to react to that filter. But I think that's what I'm leaning towards. All right, let's go to this manifesto. So apparently these two documents were left in the vehicle. I don't know. I just don't buy the story, you know? I'm not buying the official narrative. All right, fellow service members, veterans, and all Americans. It's time to wake up. We are being led by weak and feckless leadership who only serve to enrich themselves. Military and vets move on DC starting now. So he's talking like a revolutionary. Militias facilitate and augment this activity. It's like he's giving orders. Occupy every major road along federal buildings and the campus of federal buildings by the hundreds of thousands. It's like a call to protest. Lock the highways around down with semis right after everybody gets in. Hold until the purge is complete. Try peaceful means first, but be prepared to fight to get the Dems out of the federal government and military by any means necessary. They all must go, and a hard reset must occur for our country to avoid collapse. See, this part is all weird. It doesn't seem real. Either he's completely lost it and he's lost his grip on reality, or this almost seems like somebody else like wrote it, trying to create the illusion that it's from him, or it's like some kind of. It doesn't ring true, is what I'm saying. I feel like somebody is staging this entire crime scene to make it seem like some kind of right-wing, advanced military. You know, this guy has all kinds of clearance. He's the real enemy, white man, Trump supporter. So either he's being completely set up and used in this, maybe even forced, or somebody literally killed him, created all these fake documents, and put a Tesla on autopilot and some shitty bomb in the back of the vehicle. Honestly, I can't figure it out. We are the United States of America, the best country people to ever exist. But right now, we are terminally ill and headed toward collapse. We are crumbling because of lack of self respect, morals, and respect for others. Greed, gluttony has consumed us. The top 1% decided long ago they weren't going to bring everyone else with them. You are cattle to them. We have strayed from family values and corrupted our minds, and I am a prime example of having it all, but it never being enough. A lot of us are just sitting around waiting to die. No sunlight, no steps, no fresh air, no hope. Our children are addicted to screens. By the age of 2, we are filling our bodies with processed foods. Our population is too fat to join the military, yet we are facing a war with China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran before 2030. So he's kind of, I don't know, he sounds like he's trying to be the drill sergeant for the American citizen. Is this a jelly donut? Are you allowed to have jelly donuts in the barracks? No, drill sergeant. And why is that? Because I'm too fat. Let's see. We must end the war in the Ukraine with negotiated settlement. It is the only way. Focus on strength and winning. Masculinity is good, and men must be leaders. See, this is almost like somebody who actually believes the opposite is just writing everything that they disagree with, you know? Strength is a deterrent, and fear is the product. Weeded out those in our government and military who do not idealize. Number 2, the income inequality in this country and cost of living is outrageous. The number of homeless on our street is embarrassing and disgusting. Have some pride and take care of this. Stop obsessing over diversity. We are all diverse, and DEI is a cancer. Thankfully, we rejected the DEI candidate and will have a real president instead of a weekend at Bernie's. Right? This just doesn't even seem real. I feel like this is something like if you were to ask a Democrat or a hardcore liberal, like, write me an essay about what you think of somebody on the far right or a Trump supporter might think. And this is what they wrote. We must move on from the culture of weakness and self enrichment perpetuated by our senior political and military leaders. We are done with the blatant corruption. Our soldiers are done fighting wars without end states or clear objectives. This was not a terrorist attack, it was a wake up call. Americans only pay attention to spectacles and violence. What better way to get my point across than a stunt with fireworks and explosives? Why did I personally do it now? I needed to cleanse my mind of the brothers I've lost and relieve myself of the burden of the lives I've taken. Consider this last sunset of 24 and my actions the end of our sickness and a new chapter of health for our people. Rally around the Trump, Musk, Kennedy, and ride this wave to the highest hegemony, for all Americans. We are second to no one. I don't know. This is very weird. Very strange. So maybe there's a little bit of mental health mixed in there. Just wanting to go out with a bang. Maybe it was inspired by Luigi in some way, you know? But here's that video. Let's see. Matthew Livelessberger was in a reality TV show.
It's a reality show that pits teams of elite soldiers from around the world.
This is a story from Inside Edition.
It's a reality show that pits teams of elite soldiers from around the world against each other.
Matt and Tim from the U.S. Army Special Forces, better known as the Green Berets.
Matthew Livelesberger and his partner Tim Kelly, both Green Berets, appeared on the Ultimate Soldier Challenge 12 years ago on the History Channel. They not only won, it wasn't even close.
You know, for television, they always try to make it a little bit more competitive, but we swept the whole
And this
entire
guy's
show.
been on
When he appeared
Sean
on the
Ryan's
show,
a few times.
Livelesberger used a shortened version of his name, Matt Bird. So it took Tim Kelly a while to put 2 and 2 together.
And then I saw a Matt Berg with a older photo of him, and I was like, oh no, dude, I know that guy. And then it just like tore my heart out because he was a really great Green Beret.
And what was he like?
He was all the things that you would expect from a Green
His uncle said he was like Rambo.
Beret.
At one point during the show, Livelesberger lost his cool in the 90-plus degree heat.
I'm about to throw up, man. I got heat exhaustion, man. I need to take this off right now.
Tim Kelly says he hadn't heard from Livelesberger for a few years.
It just categorically does not make sense. From everything that I have heard, he was universally valued by his team, by his peers. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense, and it is just horrifically heartbreaking.
Yeah, it could just you could just chop it straight up to psychosis. You know, he lost his grip with reality, and this is what it looks like when somebody of his caliber, you know, when that happens to somebody like that. You know, when it happens to somebody like Aiden Clune, they pull over on the side of the road, take off their shoes, and start walking through the mountains and are never seen again. What does it look like when it happens to somebody like him? Miranda says it was not terrorism. Well, it's hard to look at it as, I mean, it definitely was terrorism, but not in the way we're thinking, right? I don't feel like his goal was to terrorize. I just feel like he could have built a more effective explosive, right? All he would have to do is just park it right there, walk away, and detonate it. Something like massive, you know, Oklahoma City status. I believe he could have done something like that. But with the fireworks and the, you know, the fact he used a Tesla, offing himself, leaving a manifesto, basically a suicide letter, and being very specific. I don't know. Maybe he needed that to give him the courage to go through with it. You know, he gave himself some kind of meaning, you know, gave a special meaning to it. I don't know. Very weird. This whole situation is extremely weird. Batshit crazy. Yeah, could be. That seems like the most likely scenario. So I mean, they have him on video. They have him parking. They have him recharging the Tesla a few times. And you can get really good fireworks, like really powerful ones, in New Mexico. That might explain why he decided to go through New Mexico. Like they're just on a different level. They don't have a whole lot of restrictions there. Yeah, well, what was the whole decision point? Like I've never heard that term used before. It's almost like, "Oh, well, I made a decision. This is where I'm going to end things," you know? Now, apparently this is him moving his head just before the explosion. You see that? But the more I look at it, the more it could be a light from above. Could be a reflection. And I can't figure it out. Mustang says it's a distraction from something else. Usually it is. Distraction from what? Beckel says you should cover Ben Anderson. I have covered Ben Anderson. I tried to put a documentary together on Ben, but it came out shitty, so I don't know what I'm going to do with all of that footage. But yeah, I did a few live streams on Ben Anderson. But I was boots on the ground out there. Yeah, maybe we will do another. I'll use all that footage and we can do a live stream on that. I've actually been thinking about what to do with all of that. If the first car statement was code. What do you mean? Drabitic. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Hold on. Let me go back to that for you. Gravitic, I believe, is the word that was used. So here's a screenshot. Yeah, gravitic. What we have been seeing with drones is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China in the East Coast, but throughout history, the US. But yeah, the word is gravitic. Some type of Anti-gravity, maybe. Yeah, kind of reminds me of a nuclear sub. You can just send it out to the ocean. It could stay out there for weeks and months, running on that nuclear energy. Well, what if you have some kind of new energy source? Like these drones that can just fly forever, fly across the country if they wanted to. Welcome in, Shadow Wolf. I believe he is talking about the drones that change into the orbs. Yeah, because he kind of talks like a force field. He was deployed to Afghanistan. That I do know. Gravitic propulsion systems. And remember, recently there was a lot of weirdness going on with the New Jersey drones. I mean, we did 2 live streams on them. Very strange. And then you had Trump that came out and kind of talked about it a little bit. Yeah, it could be Olivia. I agree, CJ. It's just hard to take things at face value, but I mean, that's what it could be. Yeah, what do you think about those, Shadow? I think you might be right, Hiawatha. I just wonder if that's what they want us to think. But that's the most likely scenario, for sure. Wait, what? Don said, holy shit, he called for semis to block the highways. That's what happened yesterday on I-85. Really? What? Tell me a little bit about that. I-85. See what that's all about. It says here, Greenville County, new details after a bomb threat situation. I don't know. That's all I had for you guys. If there's anything else you want to cover on this, I wanted to talk about the Bob Lazar stuff. Julia says, people are nuts, but this seems staged. Reminds me of the Ramsey ransom note in that way. Yeah, I do get those vibes. Like a, I don't know. So I can't put my finger on it. It's either exactly what it looks like or some crazy conspiracy. It's definitely nothing in between there. Yeah, that's true with the full force of the US military behind them, you know. So, they have a lot of tools at their fingertips. It is a quandary. Yeah, it's probably like I don't know, maybe like even just like a chemical imbalance, like a dopamine dump or something like that. What do you think? How can the body be unrecognizable from fire, but his passport and ID are fine? That is a clue. That's what I thought. I wanted more information on that. How is that possible? You know, they had to have been maybe in a glove box or in a bag on the floor, somewhere further away from the fire than he was, because they found his badge and it's like melted a little bit, but you can read it clear as day. You can see his ID photograph. It's like, man, come on. It just looks staged. Doesn't mean that it is staged, but man, it just has like all the telltale signs of a staged crime scene. Some kind of false flag, like I don't know, some kind of staged event. But then again, this guy was highly capable, and he's basically telling us in his manifesto that he's staging an event, right? So maybe what we're picking up on is exactly what it is, a staged event by a guy who has come out in his manifesto saying, I staged this event. Pay attention to why I staged the event. Yeah, maybe Anna, that fits into the psychosis theory. Yeah, usually they're trying to hide the information, Susan. This one, they're like, oh, we're going to go ahead and be very transparent. Whenever they're transparent, you know, I'm leery of that. I'm cautious. It's like, when the hell are you ever transparent? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me, Lynn. Like, she's obviously a Democrat. So either that was part of his sacrifice was to make himself appear as a Trump supporter, or he was, but didn't write the manifesto, or was and was a little bit crazy. You know, this is a really tough one. So we are going to get out of here. So if you're part of the replay crew, maybe you can help us understand. You know, what do you think happened with this gentleman? We read the manifesto. We got somewhat into the mind. If we all agree that that is his mind and this isn't some weird conspiracy, we haven't found any evidence to that. But I mean, this is very strange. Tied in with the New Orleans terrorist attack. You know, those guys are connected in some weird way. Fucking weird. I think you're talking about this T-shirt, Anna. Oh, I need to take that off the screen. This is the Wikipedia summary of the conservative. He's all over the place and touching on all of the pillars of the stereotypical far right Republican. Yeah, it was very stereotypical. Yeah, like a fake ransom note. I'm picking up on that 100%. I can't get past it. I just don't see somebody who spent that much time in the military, being a patriot, doing the things that he's done, saying those words. Like, it's weird. But then again, well, like I'm saying, we could be a huge component of this could be mental health, for sure. Yeah, but when it comes to psychosis, Hiawatha, it could just hit you. A lot of cases, it only takes a month. You know, it starts very gradually, and then before you know it, boom, you are fully engulfed and completely detached. But it usually happens between the ages of 25 and 30, typically. Hey, what's up, Steffa? Yeah, and that's fucked up to hear. He's talking about hundreds of civilians. Like, that shit shouldn't be happening. So maybe he convinced himself, hey, I'm giving my own life for the evil that I've done. You know, this is the only way that we're going to bring attention to this cause. What's up, Cindy? All right, guys, I'm sorry if I missed your comment. Big shout out to all my members. Thank you guys for hanging out and sticking with the Sleuth crew. All of you regulars, all of you mods who work real hard. I think we might have to do a giveaway here. I think maybe Wednesday, just for our mods and for our members. But all of you guys who are donating to the Cash App, thank you guys so much. Donating to the Venmo, to the Zelle, I really appreciate all of you guys. You make this possible, and we're going to keep it going. We're going to continue covering current topics, true crime topics, and really whatever we want. So we're going to keep it moving forward. Big shout out to all of you guys who make it possible. Squeaky Will, sorry we didn't get to you. Well, yeah, if they have some kind of high-tech drones, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it looks like there was something involving a bomb threat there, Susan. Oh, yeah, that's what you were referring to earlier. Jeanette, welcome in. Good night. All right, guys, I'll see you again early tomorrow morning. If you caught the live stream, thank you so much for participating in the live chat. And I'll see you guys again real soon. Be safe out there. Have a great rest of your weekend. Peace.